Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. All right, you guys, peep game. All right, man. I decided to break down and talk about this Lomachenko teofimo Lopez fight, which it's going down later on today. I think the fight starts around maybe 6 p.m. My time, Pacific time. So, you know, I will be tuning in. I will probably have a post fight stream, maybe. I'll go live later on because I'm gonna let 7-8 and the other guys and the other troops get you know, get their streams on. I'll do mine later on and stuff, but I will do a post fight, video. So we'll be talking about that. We'll break down the fight, what happened, how did Vasil Lomachenko win the fight, or how did Teofimo Lopez win the fight. So we'll talk about that. I'm about to watch some footage of Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez later on. Most people have Lomachenko favored to win. There's some people that have said Teofimo is going to win this fight, but most people believe that Lomachenko will pull through and win this fight. But I'm going to be completely honest about this fight. And a lot of Lomachenko fans ain't gonna want to hear this, but you know me, ask me, do I give a fuck? Because I don't. I'm gonna say what I want to say, and if you don't like it, that's just too damn bad. Or as they used to say back in the day, too black bad. But I'm gonna talk about the fight itself, who's gonna win, and basically talk about how the media once again is trying to pull a fast one with Vasil Lomachenko and how great he is or isn't, however you look at Lomachenko. Now, I feel like what Lomachenko needs to do is what he does in most of his fights. Now, if you look at Lomachenko, you look at his history, like I said, Lomachenko tries to overwhelm you, and he confuses you sometimes with punch placement. Now, he's very precise at placing his punches. He tries not to waste punches, but he does enough to win rounds decisively. Lomachenko is not going to come into a fight and throw like 100 punches per round, but he's going to be careful how he places his punches. And I give Lomachenko credit, due to the fact that Lomachenko has what you would call short arms, and for him to be able to have gotten this far, well, I ain't gonna say got this far because a lot of it has been media hype and basically certain opponents put in front of him. Now, based off the fact that Lomachenko does what he does to be successful in fights, you give him credit for that because, like I said, he has very short arms. So, like I said, Lomachenko, as I said before, he is not the type of fighter that is going to try to go in there and have a firefight with you. Because in most cases against a harder puncher, that's not going to turn out very well for him. But I give Lomachenko credit for how this dude has good footwork as far as moving from side to side. Jumping in, jumping out, or shifting from side to side and coming back in, placing his punches and then jumping back in. Lomachenko usually doesn't try to like walk you down unless he catches you and he gets you hurt. He tries to keep you for the most part in the middle of the ring. Now, if he catches you and then he backs you up, then he'll try to go for the kill. And in most cases, he may stop you or he may just, beat the hell out of you and win the fight decisively. I think in Teofimo Lopez's case, as I said before, most people believe that Teofimo has to take chances. He has to go beyond the call of duty to secure this fight. You've seen in several fights with Lomachenko, whether his fans want to admit it or not, Lomachenko has been buzzed. He's been hurt in fights, whether his fans want to believe it or not. And I think most people believe that Teofimo needs to try to rough Lomachenko up. If he needs to, attack the body, Hey, occasionally if one slips below the belt, then so be it. It worked for Orlando Salido, you know. So I know a lot of people are still crying about, oh, he kept hitting Lomachenko low. He kept hitting Lomachenko low and low. Like I said, Lomachenko, he really didn't want to fight Salido again. He just didn't. And I think Teofimo needs to use his height. He needs to use his arm length. Like I said, he's at times going to have to attack Lomachenko. He's going to have to try to time Lomachenko. And as I said before, there's going to have to be times where he's going to have to try to punch with Lomachenko. It worked out against, Kami. And he got the knockout. And it's been a question of Lomachenko's chin. Do Lomachenko got a good chin? And I think if Teofimo Lopez lands something meaningful, he could possibly defeat Lomachenko. If he tries, basically what I'm saying is with him, he need to use his size to his advantage. For real. He needs to try to push Lomachenko back against the ropes and try to tee off on him and see what happens. Because basically Lomachenko is going to have his moments. But the question is with Lomachenko, and this is what happens to a lot of his opponents, he overwhelms them. And then you looking at Teofimo Lopez, he's not that old. Lomachenko is a very experienced fighter at the age of 30, 32, 33. Like I said, he's had all them amateur fights. But a question is going to come into play. Lomachenko's age and ring rust, him being out of the ring. This is the first time Lomachenko has fought in a year. Now, he could go in there and school Teofimo Lopez, or he could have one of those Roy Jones Jr. night versus Tarver in the second fight. But we about to find out. Now, going into this fight, you heard people saying, well, if Lomachenko beats Teofimo Lopez, without a shadow of a doubt, he's pound for pound number one in the world, without a question of, without any question. Nah, that's not true. Because to be honest with you, this fight isn't really for undisputed. It's not. I don't care about people coming on here. Oh man, why are you hating? Why you hate? Man, I don't care about that stuff. Y'all hate on fighters that look like me on a regular basis. But I'm not finna spend 20 minutes talking about how certain people don't like, fighters that look like me because of this, because of that. Look, for the last few years, ESPN has been trying to force feed us, trying to basically brainwash into thinking that Lomachenko is the best fighter on the planet. Let's just face the fact. If you really want to get technical about Lomachenko's resume, it's not all that. Okay. His best win is against a undersized Guillermo Regadal. And that's just basically it. And then an inexperienced Gary Russell Jr. in a fight that was closer than what people made you believe. Okay. And we all know at the time Gary Russell fought Vasyl Lomachenko, Gary Russell Jr., if you look at his resume, it still ain't where it need to be. So Gary Russell Jr. at the time was still what you would call somewhat prospect. And Gary Russell Jr. still managed to drop Vasyl Lomachenko, and they didn't call it a knockdown, and it was clearly a knockdown. It came from a punch. It wasn't a slip. It was a flat out knockdown. And I know people will say, oh, well, the referee didn't. Hey, well, It was a knockdown. I'm not worried about y'all coming on here talking shit because any of you Lomachenko apologists come on here. Once again, say something slick and you blocked. You can say you disagree and explain why, but if you say something slick, you gone. I'm not going to go back and forth with you. I'm not doing all that stuff. I'm done with that. I'm not giving y'all that much attention. You say something slick, you gone. You're not finna disrupt my channel and what I'm talking about. Like I said, you can disagree, but be respectful when you disagree. Because if you say something slick, you out of here. Zero tolerance. No chances. You know what I'm saying? Just like how y'all give black people in society. You one mistake, you done. Okay? But for real, they want to holler about how he's done this in this many fights. And, well, basically, here's the thing. He is signed to Top Rank. Let's not try to pretend that Bob Arum don't have connections, man. Let's not try to pretend that Bob Arum can't call in favors. Okay? And actually, if you look at his age, he's not even remotely close to being, the youngest to do this or that many. Because keep in mind, Lomachenko could have became pro years ago. He decided to go to the Olympics a second time. Okay, so can we please stop this? There were other fighters way younger than him that was more established. That it did more before age 25, 26. But like I said, Teofimo Lopez doesn't have a lot of fights. Okay, he's very inexperienced. So why are we now, if Teofimo Lopez beats Lomachenko, that works in his favor because keep in mind, they're saying Lomachenko is the best pound for pound fighter on the planet. ESPN, not me, not a lot of people. Most people with common sense do not believe Lomachenko is the number one pound for pound fighter in the world. Keep in mind, they still trying to erase that loss that he has, and we all know that he has a loss. Okay. So if Lomachenko wins this fight, doesn't change my opinion of him. I don't think, Lomachenko is number one pound for pound. It's once again him beating an inexperienced fighter. Now, it's kind of funny. This sort of reminds me of Floyd versus Canelo. It was a good fight, but I'm going to tell you the difference. The reason why Floyd's victory over Canelo was way more legit and more impressive than Vasyl Lomachenko over Teofimo Lopez. Keep in mind, Canelo had over 40 fights in. So that's plenty of professional experience. And he had a victory over some people that Floyd Mayweather had beat. He knocked a couple of them out, if I'm not mistaken. So, Canelo had experience. He had 40 fights in. Okay. Teofimo got less than 20 fights in. So he's very inexperienced. Let's keep it 100. So how is this him beating Teofimo Lopez is going to be better than Floyd's victory over Canelo? But at the end of the day, we know why that is. We already know why that is. See, once again, I say things that people are afraid to say. And I'm going that route. Because at the end of the day, you got to take that into play. Teofimo Lopez is very inexperienced as a professional fighter. So Lomachenko should win this fight. He should be a overwhelming favorite. Because in Las Vegas, they pretty much saying that Teofimo Lopez don't really have much of a chance. So why are we going to celebrate Vasyl Lomachenko and elevate him to a status that he doesn't deserve when he's basically fighting a fight that in all likelihood he should win? And should more than likely dominate. So I'm just telling the truth. I know some of y'all don't want to hear this. Like I told you, I don't work for nobody. I don't work for none of these promotional companies. Nobody's going to tell me what to say. The people at Top Rank ain't finna tell me what to say. The people at PBC ain't finna tell me what to say. Matchroom ain't finna tell me what to say. And neither is Golden Boy. I'm not going to sit up there and suck up to they so-called quote-unquote superstar fighter. I'm not a big fan of Lomachenko because I'm just keeping it 100. I think he is a hype job. Now, don't get me wrong. He's a good fighter. He's a very skillful fighter. I would be lying if I said that he isn't a skillful fighter. But when you have Bob Arum always trying to say Lomachenko is better than Ali, no, he ain't. He's not better than, let me explain something to you, and I'm going to keep it 100. At 135, look, Floyd Mayweather, Sugar Shane Mosley, Manny Pacquiao, Mikey Garcia, they all beat Lomachenko. Lomachenko has never fought any fighter with the skill set of those dudes. Sugar Shane Mosley knocks Lomachenko out. Okay, he does. And everybody talking about Nicholas Walters. Nicholas Walters had a year layoff. Okay. Lomachenko ain't beat no Floyd Mayweather. So please stop it. He not. I know that a lot of you white boys want to believe that, but in y'all heart, y'all know he not beat no Floyd Mayweather. Pretty boy Floyd is knocking Lomachenko out. Floyd would use his reach and his power to his advantage. And keep in mind, Floyd can fight backwards. He could throw punches from everywhere. He could fight off the ropes, against the ropes, which something Lomachenko lacks. So just stop it. I know a lot of you white boys, is really in your heart of hearts. No, Lomachenko wouldn't have beat Floyd Mayweather. Like I said, he wouldn't have beat none of them dudes that I just named. He wouldn't have beat Aaron Pryor. He wouldn't have beat none of them dudes at a lower. So to sit up there and compare him to Muhammad Ali and Floyd Mayweather, it's insulting and it's disrespectful, not only to black fighters, but just to fighters, period. Look, keep in mind, Lomachenko has already been beat before. Yeah, I guess y'all forgot about that. But here's the thing. I'm going to end this video saying this. My prediction, I'm going to take, and I want to say this, and I want this to be made very clear. I'm going to take Lomachenko in a split decision, but I'm rooting for Teofimo Lopez. This your boy Town Biz. I'm out.